Builders Collective is a group of like-minded people from all around the world at different stages of their guitar building journey. You can join us over on our forum to seek advice or share tips on guitar building processes, materials and tools, or just to share your builds. On YouTube, we have a regular podcast of guitar building chat where you can join the live stream or watch back on past episodes. Our Instagram page shares posts of members' builds and links you direct to their accounts. And for those of you on Facebook, we've got a private group that you can join, share and chat along with. The Guitar Builders Collective is a welcome and open space for all, so do pop by and say hi. Great. Hello, everyone. And welcome back. This week, Scott and myself are joined by Nick, who's just below us, from Petrek Guitars. What I'll quickly do, though, is there might be some people who are watching the stream that haven't seen it before. So I'll just let you know that Scott and myself are part of the Guitar Builders Collective. There's links to everything I'm mentioning in our video description. But the collective is a group of builders who, from around the world, who are all levels of building. So we've got some professional, full-time luthiers. We've got people that are just doing it as a hobby. Some people haven't even made a guitar yet. They're just thinking about it. There's an online forum. There's a Facebook group, which seems to be growing quite a bit. There's about 650 of us on there now. And an Instagram page. On the Instagram page, we use that really just to share builds by people that are part of the collective. So if you're following that on Instagram, you'll get to see lots of different builders. And with the chat like this, we like to have a different person on each week with a sort of different focus of conversation. So if you're watching live in the chat, please ask away if we've got any questions. And if you're watching in the future, let us know in the comments if you've got anything you want to ask. But welcome, Nick. It's great to have you here.
Thanks for your invitation. I suppose this is Scott. You told me, or you write me, you will help out?
Yes, this is Scott.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, normally we have a chat just beforehand, but we had some technical issues, so I didn't have a chance.
Yeah. Nice to meet you guys, yeah. But it's running now and everything is fine. I have a massive delay when I look at the laptop. I have a massive delay from that's normal, I think, yeah?
Yes,
Yeah.
So I normally pause my laptop.
I will get used to that.
Yeah. Sorry. We're in 3 different time zones today, so that always amazes me.
Okay.
Scott, it's early morning for Scott in Texas.
Are you from Texas, Scott?
I am.
Greetings to Texas.
Yeah.
And Nick, where are you actually based?
I am based in Frankfurt in Germany. But I'm not a German, so I was born here, but I'm Croatian. If you know Croatia, it's on the opposite side of the Adriatic Sea, of Italian, on the other side of the Adriatic Sea. But I was like doing my high school here, doing my education here, studying here, everything. But I still have a connection to my birthland.
Yeah, we'll mention later on the documentary you just put up on YouTube about a month ago now. But that was partly in Croatia, am I right?
This was filmed totally in Croatia.
Yes.
And also the tree, it's like the the main character in this story is also grown in Croatia on my grandfather's land. Yeah.
I mean, when I first came across your work, Nick, it was via Instagram and seeing your shorts you're putting up, or often many educational things, which link to your YouTube channel of longer videos. But also it was the storytelling element of your videos that I really enjoyed and the way you filmed them.
Thank you.
So I was very excited to see the documentary, which talks a bit about your career as a luthier. So maybe we should start with that. Am I right? You've been a luthier for over 30 years.
Yeah. Actually, I was studying music science in Frankfurt. I think that's the right, music science. And then I made, in German it's called Praktikum. So you go to a factory and work there for 3-4 weeks to check out if it's interesting for you. And I was happy to find a place in a lutherie workshop, and I worked there for 3 weeks, and the master show up to me and say, "Hey Nick, pretty talented. If you like, you can make an, it's called Ausbildung in Germany, an education as a luthier." Yeah, I think you in England you have similar systems, but mostly compared with carpenters, and but I'm not so into it. In Germany, it's called Ausbildung. Yeah. So and that's what I did, and I go to school for about 3 years, and after finishing that, my former boss asked me to stay in this luthier workshop, but I decided to make music. So I'm actually also a musician. So I started to make music for about 2-3 years, having 3 bands. Was a pretty tough, but also a very nice time. Yeah. And then I get asked by local music shops to work for them. So, and then I start to work for one very famous old music shop here in Frankfurt. And I also worked for, maybe you know, Guitar Point. It's like a great vintage store here in Frankfurt in Germany, one of the greatest, yeah, the biggest one. And so I did a ton, really, I did a ton of repairs. Yeah, I always have a small luthier workshop beneath this, working for these guys in the shops. Always. I never been without a small workshop. My workshop is also totally tiny. It's about 8 square meters. It's not big. It's not huge, but it's fine for me. It's more like it's very popular these days to say, "Oh, I'm a minimalistic," but I was always like this. It's not like I will get it's minimalistic because it's popular. It's just the matter of circumstances, because I can't afford having a big room for doing my stuff. I think most of these guys and most of guys doing lutherie or other small crafts like jewelry, they have small places. Not like big factories. Yeah.
I don't think that this sort of career is a career with lots of money coming in for most people to afford a big space. And most people, or at least most people that we talk to on here, work on their own. They don't normally have someone else working with them.
Yeah. You know, in Germany, it's also very complicated. If you want to have employments, you have to have special toilets. You have to have special restrooms. You have to have everything, and it's not possible for me. And you're some kind of locked. You're not free if you work with people. I love to work with people and also communicating with people. But if I want to make or build a guitar, and that's why I also don't do custom orders. It sounds weird that a luthier don't do custom orders, but it's not my way. It's not my way. I want to keep the craftsman's freedom alive.
Yes. So. Nick, you brought up so many things that we've been talking about over the last few weeks. Mm-hmm. The fact that a lot of us don't enjoy making custom orders. And we find sometimes you lose some of your excitement of making something when the person you're working for, as has just been the case with me, keeps asking for different things. They've been very understanding, but things keep changing. Lots of people prefer a bit of freedom themselves. And also you brought up, we'll come back to all of this, but you also brought up something Scott talks about a lot, which is the idea that you've done lots of repair work before. And we wonder how that feeds into your understanding of being a luthier when you get to be around so many instruments.
You know, for me, repairs are a joy. I know most luthiers, also my colleagues in Germany, they hate making repairs. They just hate it. They make it because they earn money with that. But I'm a bit different in this case. I'm still curious, I'm still curious about exploring new stuff and not leaning on that what I can, because that's not a challenge. Yeah. And I think it's a big part, not just of lutherie, of craftsmanship, to explore situations where you've never been before, because this is the thing that makes this building by hand and crafting and have the possibility. You have an idea. You must imagine you have an idea and you are able to build it. These are 3 steps. You have to have the idea, you have to have the skills, and the patience and the time to build this. And I think for me, that's the most satisfying thing. I think for you too, because if you do a job like that, a job is not a nice word for craftsmanship. I think it's more a passion. If you're following your passion, it's like it's your freedom to do stuff like you want it, not because you think that's the best or you are the guy who knows how it works. It's not like that. I mess up stuff every day, yeah. But that's also a thing that you have to deal with, yeah. And it's
you're exploring your journey. You're exploring. It's your journey, but it's a journey of exploration. It's not that it's the right way, but it's your path.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. And that's why I love doing repairs. And maybe half a year ago, somebody asked me, Nick, how many repairs did you did in your life? And I was just calculating, and these are more than 10,000 repairs that I did in my career. And I think that's quite a lot. That's quite a lot, yeah. Because I make my living with doing repairs. Yeah.
There's a saying that if you do, I think this is right, if you do 10,000 hours of anything, you become an expert.
More than 10,000 repairs. More than 10,000 repairs.
So more than 10,000 hours, yeah.
Repairs.
Yeah. Incredible.
Yeah.
I tried the last year to do more repair work because I thought that might be a bit more of the bread and butter income for me.
Yeah.
But apart from the occasions when someone would come with just a simple repair or setup and they could be there while I was doing it and I could see them trying it out and seeing the difference that what I'd done had made, a lot of the time a guitar would be sent to me, I'd do the repair work, send it back. I might get an email, but it didn't feel very rewarding in the way that making something did for me. So it's great that you're getting all of that out of it, and the way you described it was really interesting as well.
Yeah, it's like, I think a job, we are sharing the same passion, we are sharing the same job, and it's like, it's more like you have to listen. This is the experience that I made, and if you have a talent, natural talent for this, that you listen to the people, yeah, that you're not saying no, the setup has to be like that. Yeah. So I normally I never have the people sitting next to me when I'm doing setups. Yeah, I ask him to play, or the girl. Can I see how you play? Do you make finger picking? Do you have a good technique? This is important. Is it important for you that you don't have any fret buzz? Yeah, it's always a compromise. Yeah, and then I make the setup. Yeah, and setup work is so difficult, it's so delicate, and it's such a personal taste. If you see my bass that I used to play for 20 or this one, 30 years live, everyone would say, "Are you crazy? You're a luthier playing such a high string action." But that's like, what's this one? That's like, I like it. Yeah, sometimes it's a struggle, but this is what I need because I have quite a lot of power in my right hand, and I have to compensate that. Yeah, and if you communicate to the people that it's always like a compromise, then I think they have to be very stupid and ignorant to not understand this. Yeah. Yeah.
Do you find though that some people in a more modern day, because of the internet, come with ideas that they've read about but are maybe misunderstanding or asking for, and it's not really what they want. Like that. Yeah.
Of course. It's like I have this a lot, and it's very popular to have drop tunes, 8-string, 10-string. This can work, but with the correct string tension and with the correct tuning. You can't play a drop A with a set of 9. It doesn't work. It will work when you have I don't know, 1 centimeter string height, but it's not practical. Yeah, this is, what we are doing is actually no magic. This is physics. This is simple. It's pretty simple. You can calculate this. Yeah. We're talking about waves, about amplitudes, and about how the truss rod has to be set. But the thing is that you have like a lot component. Like if you're a race car driver and they have special technician to make a setup for this car, this is not just the steering, it's not just the tire pressure. And same story at lutherie. You have to take care about the string height. Are the frets correctly leveled? How does the truss rod react? It's so many little screws that you have to turn to make it work. Okay, I actually don't say perfect. I say okay. It's always a compromise. Yeah. That's my experience.
No, I think the idea of a compromise between everything is important.
Yeah.
So a lot of the people that watch this and are part of the Guitar Builders Collective are amateurs that have, in the last few years, taken up guitar building, partly because of the amount of education that's there now on YouTube. So, for example, your channel's full of explaining how to do things, from simple repairs to understanding more complicated things.
Yeah.
I was interested to know what made you want to move that kind of educational thing into social media.
It's pretty simple. Like I told, I was working for music shops, for local music shops, and I was working like 3 days a week in the music shop, and the rest I would work in my workshop. And then the customer came in and asked me, I need a new Bonehead. What's the price for a Bonehead? Why is it so expensive? And I have to explain about, I don't know, in a week 10 times the same stuff. Yeah. At the beginning, I have to be honest, I was like, oh man, no, not again. But it's not the fault of the people, because they are not into it. Yeah. So I recognized people are cool. It's like you have to explain that. And so I started to make my very first YouTube video about a very complicated neck break on I think it was an old Gibson 330 TD. Yeah. And everyone that come in and need to make a spline because the damage was so massive, I just give him the link, and he look at the video. And the question, why is it so expensive? It's not expensive. Sure, you can't fix a spline, broken headstock for $50. It's impossible. You can do it, but it's not like a real craftsman will do it. Yeah. And after releasing these repair videos, so actually I have made this first repair videos for customers who come into a music shop and want to be informed about what stages of work this guitar has to go through. Yeah. And so I started, and then I started my own business in 2019. And then actually the biggest guitar magazine in Germany, it's called Gitarre und Bass. Yeah. It's like, I don't know, you have premium guitar or guitar player, something like that. Yeah. Where they test instruments and do stuff like that. They saw this video and they say, hey, Nick, that's cool. Where are you? Who are you? I'm doing this for 25 years and they don't know me. And so they make like announcement, and they say, we will support you and bring the videos on our YouTube channel, because my YouTube channel was about, I don't know, 12 followers and I have like 2 videos on it. Yeah. And so they supported me in that way, that they release my videos on their YouTube channel. Yeah. And then I start making other videos, and then they call me and say, hey, Nick, we will make a short introduction in our magazine about you, your life, like who are you? Are you a real luthier? Are you just making that for hobby, stuff like that? But it will be very good if you just have an account on Instagram or Facebook, because you have to have this. You're not existing in this world if you don't have that. So I thought, okay, cool. I just post a picture of my workshop, said Petrek Guitars. That's it. That's fine for me. And then Instagram show up with this reels, yeah, with the short clips. And just in this time, I get a repair from Costa Rica. Also, a guy who saw the first video on YouTube, and he asked me, I'm coming to Germany. I will bring you the guitar. Can you take care of it? And it was also repair with splines, and it's a massive repair. And so I made 5 parts of it, because when wheels started on Instagram, there were just about 30 seconds. 30 seconds, nothing. You can't tell the story in 30 seconds. So I split this in 5, and this was like. Wake up in the morning and say, what's going on here? It was exploding, and this was my beginning. It's not long ago. It's maybe 2.5 years ago I started my Instagram. Yeah, and wow, it's for me also totally unbelievable when I look at this. Yeah, that's a magazine. Yeah.
Yeah, I've just opened it up. It's on your website, which
that's cool. That's cool. Yeah.
And also, if people don't know it, again, I've put links in the video description. But here's your Instagram.
Yeah, thank you. And you know, I wasn't the guy. I'm still not like, here I'm the man. Look at this. It has to be like that. I'm more like a quiet. Person sitting in my workshop doing my stuff. That's what I prefer. Yeah, but this was such an amazing feedback. Not just to raise new clients. I have enough clients. It was not. I have to have more clients, more repairs, more buildings. It's more for me like it's like a library. It's a library. Yeah, a library everyone can use and don't have to pay anything for it. And it's not because it's because I want to show the people what effort do you have to put in as a craftsman, doing everything by hand to repair this guitar. Yeah.
I love that idea of it being a library. Sorry, Scott.
Yeah, well, I agree. If you're like me, you just really enjoy sharing. And I can see the point in trying to educate people on the complexity of repairs and why it takes what it takes, and But I just enjoy sharing. But I can really relate to not thinking that my stuff is superior. It's just, this is what I'm doing. This is what I've got, and it's out here for those to appreciate who want to. Yeah.
And it's not like I won't call it educational, because there are always different ways to do a job, to manage a repair, and it's a personal preference. For me, I avoid using as much as possible any power tools. Sometimes life would be, for me, my life would be much easier if I use power tools, but I have this. I don't know what it is, but I like to do it by hand. It's something like, maybe meditation is too much, but it's something in between. It's enjoying the steps, and it's so important to you know, when you sand a neck, or you make like a carving, the last institution that says it's okay now, it's not the eyeballing and it's not the measurement, it's the feel of your fingertips. That's for me like that. So I feel it like there's also a repair I did a tongue strap in. If my thumb says, hey man, there's no gap, then it's fine. Yeah. It's not like, oh, yeah, maybe it's the feeling in the fingers. And
Yeah,
I don't want to lose this. I want this. I want to have this.
I hadn't thought about just how many things in guitar building that really do come down to tactile. You know, it just by feel. You know.
Yeah.
There really are a lot of situations where that's the determining factor.
Yeah, you had mentioned previously, Scott, the idea that when we were looking at some of the builds from the Great Guitar Build-Off, which, if you don't know, Nick, the Great Guitar Build-Off was an online competition for people to make guitars and share with a community, and then each builder got to vote on their favorite ones. But we were saying that you can make something that looks beautiful, that's made out of beautiful wood, but when it comes to it, when you come to play it, it needs to feel right as well. Yeah. And it's that final setup of how it feels and plays is so vitally important to the instrument.
Yeah, I don't know if it's the right expression in English, but it's called haptic.
Yes.
It's not just on instruments. It's on when I touch my glasses and they feel like, I don't know, not like I like to have them to feel. So I don't feel comfortable with that. It's not a matter of price always. It's just a personal preference. Yeah, and
On that note, it links in to a question I was going to ask to do with your background here. So I recently, I used to have all my tools that I use all the time out, but I used to have all my tools out, and now I'm just putting them all away apart from the ones I use very regularly. And with the ones I've used regularly, I've started to upgrade them to ones that are a bit more comfortable to use or feel nicer, like changing the handles on something, on a chisel, just so it's more enjoyable and pleasurable to use. I had a screwdriver I've been using for years, and it's just really uncomfortable. But it's a Phillips Head 2, and I use it on everything. So I just bought a nice one, and it just feels more like that job is more fun now, which sounds stupid. But is that
no? It's not stupid. It's not stupid because tools are totally important. Sometimes I have to laugh because sometimes I browse around YouTube and I see guys that have about, I don't know, 25 Stanleys in the background. And planes. But you know, if you're so into this craftsmanship, I can see even on a video if this guy or this girl handles this with if it's into it. I don't know how to explain it. It's the movement of the how you touch something. Yeah, it's not just in lutherie. I have a car mechanic in Croatia, a great guy, and when I see how he turn in a screw, it opens your soul because he's totally into it. You know what I mean? It don't have to be always total complicated stuff, and this is what I'm looking for, and what makes me so exciting to look at crafts, even if it's just a car mechanic or a guy who builds up a motorcycle. It's not just on lutherie. There are some people where you see on the movement, on the hands, they are totally into it. They are totally skilled, and there are a lot of guys out there, and also girls, who are not into it, have the fanciest tools, the coolest workshops, but I see that are not into it. You know what I mean? And that's a struggle. It's not a struggle for me. It's a struggle for them. You know what I mean? And this is cool. You have to have a couple of basic tools. If you give me 30 seconds, because you talk about tools, I will just bring something and show it.
Oh, yes. Oh,
maybe it's interesting for you. I'm here in 1 second.
Well, whilst Nick's doing that, I'll mention that Ty from Shock the Fox, who was a previous guest. I noticed on his Instagram the last few days, he's just been making something to store his files in, the nut files and all the little tools that might be used to make the nuts. And he's gone through 2 iterations of it to try and get it perfect. And there's definitely something about even the way the tools are displayed that look great. So Nick, what have you brought to show us?
Yeah, so I will show you my, I don't know, how do you call it? It's a we call it cutter knife. Yeah.
I'm sure, is it a marking knife or is it a carving
No,
knife?
it's like, this is the first thing you build when you're making a luthier education in Germany. You get a piece of steel, that's Swedish steel. This is what you get. It's not shaped like that. And then you have to shape it like a knife, and then you make yourself a handle. You make yourself a handle for your hand. And this knife is now, I made it in 1994. Still here, still sharp. Use it every day. It's not a Japanese fancy stuff. I don't know what you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's my knife. That's a part of me. So it's, for me, it's normal that you say the screwdriver has to have a certain feel for you. And this is like totally simple. If you sometimes you're in a situation that you need more angle, you put it out. And if you don't need it, you push it in. And that's my knife.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And is it that, so the one you made, is it the same, or have you done anything to the handle over the years?
Nothing. That's the original color, the original everything.
Fantastic. I know we've both got tools from our relatives that have been passed down to us that we like to use as well.
Yeah.
There's something about that that's special.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's nice. You know, it's funny because I started education in '94, and this is exactly the year I bought this pair of shoes. You see them?
Yeah.
Actually, they are boots. I still have them. So they're my luthier boots. And they follow my life, like in every situation. When I was in trouble, when I was lucky, when I was sad, these boots were always there. It's the same stuff like with this knife, you know. Maybe it sounds weird, but it's like this, yeah. And I'm okay with that. I like that.
Yeah.
When you were talking about making the knife when you were beginning to learn lutherie, it reminded me earlier on in the conversation you were talking about the school that you went to learn lutherie.
Yeah.
Are things like that still around? Because I know in the UK, over the last 10 or 15 years, a lot of the schools that would have taught instrument making and furniture making have closed down because they just can't afford to run anymore.
No, it's still there, and I have very good contact to them. Yeah, they are also kind of proud of my popularity because I'm a guy from them. Yeah, and every time it's in the deepest corner of Bavaria. Actually, it's at the border to Austria. And if you are come to Germany, you have to visit this because it's an old village, a small old village. And when I was joining the school, it was called Geigenbauschule. So for violins and cellos, but you have 4 educational streams. It's like for violins, cellos, contrabass, subbass, I think you say subbass. Then you have my job is called Zupfinstrumentmacher, if you want to translate that, because luthier is everything. Luthier is like you also repair violins and stuff like that. In Germany, this is separated. If you are a Zupfinstrumentmacher, what means I have built everything that you pick, yeah, not what you play with a bow, everything that you pick, like a harp, a guitar, sitar, stuff like that. And then you have the trumpet builders, and you have, and this is very interesting, and I think a lot of people don't know that, there are guys and girls who learn 3.5 years how to build a bow.
Wow.
Not an instrument, a bow.
Wow.
3.5 years, how to build a bow. And this is everything. You can learn this on this school. It's called Instrumentenbauschule Mittenwald. Mittenwald is the small village, and it's really one of the well-known school in the whole world. The next is Cremona in Italy, and then you have something like in the we were separated in Germany. There were the Eastern and the Western Germany, and the Eastern Germany is also a big one. Yeah, and that's it. That's it. Yeah.
Wow.
I'm going to have to look that up. It sounds very picturesque as well.
It is. It's beautiful. There are the mountains and very, very unhealthy food, but very nice people. Really, Bavarians are great people. Yeah, and so tolerant. Because when I was going there to school, I used to have long hair. I was a rock guy with a lot of rings in the nose and everywhere, and like didn't look so serious like I look today. Yeah,
I envy people that have started with repair work and have a lot of experience in repair, and I just never had the exposure to it. I didn't really have the opportunity, and people that have access to a school like that, which I just I'm nowhere near. I've had people ask me if I build acoustics, and trying to explain to them that that's such an entirely different thing, and it seems to be so much more craftsmanship than I compared it to Michelangelo and a caveman making caveman and electric guitars, just two slabs of stuff stuck together. It's I very much feel like an infant just stabbing in the dark, doing what I do, but
that's absolutely correct, Scott. And if you in this school, even today, an electric guitar is not a guitar. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You have to build your masterpiece, and if you say I will make a fancy electric guitar, maybe today it's possible, but back in the days it was like that's not what we have educated you for. You know what I mean? You can do this when you're finished. You can do industrial work, and that's maybe an interesting point for all. If you are a luthier these days, not just these days, we are challenging with industrial products. A Telecaster is an industrial product.
Yes,
it's developed to be made by machines. And I don't use a CNC. I don't want to use a CNC, even if I can afford it, because there are a lot of other guys who are so good in doing CNC stuff. I'm good in other things. You know what I mean? It's not my goal to make the new Les Paul, the new Stelly. I love them all. I'm such a guitar nerd. Sometimes it's really horrible because I get repairs and then I sit here and play this guitar because I love instruments and love making music. And and this is a pressure that every one of us has. Like, you can't compare. If a client come in and say, can you build me a standard USA Strat for 1,500 euros? No, I can't. It's impossible. If I build an electric guitar, in the method I do it, because I plane everything by hand. It's not like I don't have how do you call them? Where you put in the wood and it goes out plain.
Yeah, like a thickness.
I have a massive old Stanley, and I do it by hand. And sometimes you have about 130 hours of work going into an instrument, and that's life is very expensive in Germany. You can't. Actually, the situation is that a craftsman, craftsman like me, doing this job for 30 years, can't afford his instruments to play. If I want to buy an instrument from me, I can't afford it. I'm not a poor man, you know what I mean. But I can't spend $10,000 on a guitar. I will buy an old, used, cool Ibanez, pimp it, and play this one. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's the situation. It's not like it's so bad. No, it's okay for me because it was always like this. I'm used to this. Yeah.
That's an interesting point. I hadn't thought about that. I couldn't afford my own instruments.
No, we often talk about the fact that
it's the truth. Yeah. Here in Germany we have also some they invited me. It was 2 years ago. It's like a competition of the master builders, but it's like from the government. It's like something official. You have masters checking your instrument. You have an institute who will check the frequency, everything. Yeah. So they say, "Hey Nick, if you like to join," and that's the only competition I did, and that's the guitar you see here. I've made the second place. Yeah. Yeah. And this guitar, it's like I've made everything. I made the hardware by hand. This is like a copper plate. I band it. And if you ask me what's that for kind of wood, it's totally cheap wood. It's you call it sugar pine, I think, in the US. It's one piece of sugar pine, yeah. But the interesting thing that in this institute they measure the frequency. This instrument was, and this was also surprising for me, the best resonating and best sounding mathematically instrument that I have on this competition. Yeah.
Wow.
So, and now you have to talk about, is wood really so important? And that's, I'm saying this. I'm into this for 30 years. It don't have to be like Brazilian rosewood. It's an amazing wood. It's an amazing wood. I love it, and it smells like the best perfume in the world. I love the smell of, but it's not necessary. In my opinion, with my experience, it's not necessary. The effort is essential. What you put into the instrument, how's your neck-body connection. This is also not good with the screws. I did it, but it's not good. It's better to have a plate. Yeah, it's not so sexy looking, but if you're honest, this is not the optimal way to bolt the neck on a body. Yeah, and I'm a guy who has no problem for saying that, because you surely maybe recognize it, because I don't sell anything. I don't sell anything on my Instagram channel. I don't sell anything on my YouTube channel. And this gives me the freedom to say, hey, even this guitar that has nearly won this prize has a neck-body connection, and I've built it. That's not the best solution. But I want to try it out, I'm on a path. I want to make the experience. I want to know. That's the game. Yeah.
Yeah. And also it's that compromise of the visual element of it as well. Like the carves on the back of that guitar you're holding up look absolutely beautiful in the screen here. Fantastic.
Yeah, and this is everything done by hand. It's like this structure here. This is a bit pain of the ass, because you have this very hard winter years and this totally soft summer years, the light ones. And you have to sand this with a special method. You can't go over this with an accenter, with an electric. You get waves. You can't get rid of waves if you have an electronic power tool. You have to do this by hand with a wood block that has the radius, with sandpaper that sticks on, and takes hours. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember the first time I noticed with like ash, where the striations there's a lot of difference in the hardness.
Yeah.
When you use like an orbital sander, if you give it pressure, it will take a lot out of the soft stuff and leave the hard stuff, and you will have a lot of texture there.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's an experience you made. And, yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
One of the things we discuss a lot is choices of wood and what people pay for guitars. When we talk about choices of wood, anyone we've had on or in the chat, it's never to do with the tone that the guitar makes. It's to do with the look of the wood or the color of the wood, and or the way the combination of the woods goes together. Or for me, what I like about seeing other people's builds is the way they've chosen the wood and carved or cut into it in a certain way to reveal how beautiful the wood is, which you often don't get when you get a factory built guitar. They haven't carefully positioned their template to make or accentuate that pattern on it. And I think that's one of the many things that you get when you go to a boutique builder or luthier is that those decisions that can't be made by a CNC machine. We had someone on a few weeks ago, Mark Gutierrez, who was talking about the idea that he's been buying cheap things from China just to see what they're like, and the quality of the necks and the bodies is going up a lot because it doesn't matter. He said this: it doesn't matter where your CNC machine is; it cuts exactly the same.
True.
And they seem to have access to all these quite exotic woods now en masse to make it cheaper, but it's never the same as a hand-built thing.
Yeah. It's like the factory that I made my education, it was called Petrek Guitars. We were building high-class basses like Warwick. Yeah, Warwick, German bass, very popular. It was this like end of the 80s, beginning of the 90s. Everyone wants to have a Tobias, alembic, stuff like that, very fancy stuff, and exotic woods. And the factory also was a wood dealer. So in my educational time, I saw every wood that you can imagine. And Chuck was supplying, Taylor was supplying, Yamahas was supplying, Gibson. We used to supply Gibson with flame tops. Yeah.
Wow.
And and this was like big trucks coming in, and we have like sawing mill machines and putting stuff in dry the stuff in big chambers and then ship it to US or wherever. And you know what? If you're into this, because I used to also work for shops selling a lot of custom shop Gibsons, like maybe 10 years ago. Yeah. And there was this 59, it was like 6,300 euro. Yeah. And the 58, and the only really big difference is the top. One's a plain top, the other one is a flame top. And the 58 was about 3,600. So you have a price difference in between. Yeah. How much is it? 2,800 euros. Yeah. 2,600 euros. Just because of the grain of the wood. And the thing is, I know the prices the Gibson pay. I won't tell them. I don't want to get in any trouble. But if you order, I give you just an example. You order a plain top for a Gibson. Yeah, this is the cost of, just to give you the difference. Let's say 50 euro. Okay, and then you want to have a 5A flame top, and then you pay 150 euro. So everything is so industrial, and we, the craftsmen people, are so struggling and get ourselves in such a trouble and situations that we are not responsible for. You know what I mean? It's the industrial production that makes this marketing, and if you cut this and if you age it, it sounds better. For me, I have played really every guitar every time. I've repaired 9085 Gibson Les Pauls, 9060 Gibson Les Pauls. They are this. At the end of the day, these are instruments: piece of wood, some strings, some pickups, and a lot of voodoo. And I'm the guy who says, I'm a craftsman, not a magician. Not a magician. I'm a craftsman, and I really, not because maybe it sounds arrogant, but it isn't. I've made the experience. I've made the experience in the production. I was a sales. I was in the distribution. I know every step of this musical producing industry, and it's like, it's like everything is marketing. That's sometimes very frustrating. But the other thing is, like you guys too, it's always interesting when I talk about it, because it makes you feel better, because you're not responsible for the situation. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not responsible for the situation. Sorry, sometimes I talk too much. So you can surely interrupt me. It's not a problem for me.
Oh no, we just say the same things that we always say. So it's nice to hear new voices. And on that, you said you get to speak a lot to other luthiers and guitar repairers in your country. I think you said that earlier, because one of the things that I really like about for example, the Guitar Builders Collective and the online community is, for years I've just been in a workshop on my own, and now I have people that I can have conversations with. Often it's in text form, in comments or messages, but then we have the chance on things like this to talk, and it just feels like having the support of other people around you and having the ability to just talk about what you're passionate about is something you often lose as a craftsperson working on your own. So do you just have people that you're still in contact with from the school or other sort of locations? And is it all, do you meet up at any points?
Yeah, of course. I know actually every educated luthier. Sorry, I didn't hear you.
Oh, no.
I think I know every educated luthier in Germany. Maybe not personally, but I know them, And it's like we all struggle the same. I don't talk financially. It's more like this to develop yourself, to find your place in this sometimes really, really very fast and world. It's craftsmanship was there before the industry came, before in England the factories were developed, and it's still there. And we are the guys and the girls who have to adapt to the situation. New stuff that it's coming, it's new, it's there, it's always interesting. But we have to adapt to the situations. How do I deal with CNCs? Should I use a hand sand block or should I use the power tool? That's a decision you make as a craftsman. But if you use a CNC in Germany, for example, you can't say it's hand built. That's another point. You know what I mean? And you can't. For me, it's morally not okay if you want to have the same price that a guy made really by hand, because he spends a lot of more time of his lifetime. We are the guys who are soaking in dust every day. All the colleagues there that are passed away in the last 5-8 years are passed away because they have lung cancer. Because you deal with super glue, totally toxic stuff, with lacquer, with, I don't know, dust. A lot of people don't know how toxic, for example, Paduk is. Paduk is an African wood, also wenge. These are toxic woods. If you breathe them in, you fuck up your lungs. You can wear a good mask, but it's also in your workshop. You have to have a good filter to get the stuff out. And it's not just the hour you take to repair something or to build something. You are putting in your lifetime. Yeah. And this is what I try to explain to the people. Not because I'm begging. It's because that's the reality. Yeah.
Yeah. A friend of ours in the Guitar Builders Collective, Tyler from Shock the Fox, I remember him saying one time that you're not just paying for, this guitar, you're paying for the expertise, you're paying for all the experience that it took to get that expertise, tool wear. I mean, there's so many things that factor into a custom built boutique, instrument that, it isn't dumped out by some factory with a CNC. But really what struck me about that was the experience and all the the trial and error that it took to develop that experience and those types of things that as an artist and a creator, you do need to value and other people should value as well.
Yeah. And I think we are all not good in value ourselves.
Yeah.
Me too. I'm always too cheap, I think. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not a businessman. I'm a craftsman. I'm a craftsman, sure. And I love to do what I do. But another interesting point is what we mentioned at the beginning of the discussion is about this custom built stuff. And because you asked me, I'm in contact with my colleagues here in Germany, and most of them very good friends of mine. I used to know them for about 20, 30 years. Yeah, cool guys. Yeah, and the one who chosen the way to make a product and make it like I want to build just new guitars, and they are the guys who mix it up, make repair shops, and build new stuff. And the guys who made, actually maybe I'm alone in this situation, but doing repair stuff and making my guitar building more in a way of making an art. Yeah, and I don't want to have anybody telling me how to do this because it's my personal thing. It's like you wrote your song, you paint your picture, and somebody stands, you have to take a little bit more yellow here. No, it's my soul I want to print on this. Onto this wall, you know what I mean? It's like, yes. I want to keep this freedom alive. And the point is that a lot of people ask me, why don't you do any custom orders? Yeah, it's not just the financial or the income thing. First of all, they have to wait for about 2-3 years on an instrument, and I can't manage this in my head that this is kind of okay, because it's not. Yeah, it's not. Yeah, and the thing is, and this is also a process I myself have to go through, because I was, I still am a musician, and sometimes I'm so surprised about instruments that are so low priced, used old beaten up Japanese guitars and basses, and I take them and they sound like hell, and I even don't have to change the tuners. I just love them. I play them. Like this Gordon Smith, it's from Britain. I also made a repair video about that with this, where the truss-rod was broken, yeah. And I bought this guitar really for me, because I used to have a customer. He was an original Les Paul Junior, and I was playing that here in the corner. I said, "Oh, that's a beautiful guitar. I want to have like that, but I don't want to spend about $1,500 on a Gibson." So I found this and I repaired, and it's fine for me. And what I want to share with you, maybe it helps you out. It's like the end result. Even if you are experienced, and if you do this for 30 years and you have built more than hundreds of guitars, how it really sounds, you will discover when you put in the strings the first time and shred it. Yeah. And sometimes it's also, for me, a big surprise. It's not that it sounds bad, but it's not that it sounds like I expected it to sound. Mm-hmm. And if you are a customer maybe I love, I don't know, bikes, motorcycles. I go to a guy, say, hey, build me this, yeah. And then I sit the first time on this, and it don't feels like I have the imagination that it has to feel. And I spend a lot of money on it, yeah. So I think if you want to, or my way is, I also sell instruments that I built, but I maybe build 2 or 3 instruments a year. Yeah, it's not much. But the customer come in and he follows the process. He sees it, yeah, brings me a guitar for setups. Nick, you're building a Sport Junior. Yeah. Can I try it when it's ready? Yeah, of course you can, yeah. And then when he grabs the guitar and strums and say, that's fine for me, that's it. Then I have a good feeling selling it to him.
Sure.
But you are not able, as a craftsman, as skilled as you are. There are a lot of people more skilled than me out there in this world, but maybe because they make their living of that. And this is not critical. It's not a critical like you're just doing it for the money. No, it's not like that, because they're struggling with that. Friends call me, I've made this 8,000-9,000 euro guitar, and the guy said the neck is too narrow. If something is too narrow, there's no plane who can put wood on it. It's done. It's for, you have to make a new neck. You know what I mean, yeah. And it's like you have to have the end result, then you can play it. Yeah. If it fits you, it's fine. If not, it's nothing personal about me and my craftsmanship. You know what I mean? You don't have to take it personal, because if Scott said, I want to have this brilliant highs there, my ears are totally fucked up because I played 20 years beneath a loud drummer. my highs are totally different than yours, Scott, you know? And it's so, it begins in the communication. It's not possible, yeah?
Yeah.
So sometimes the best situation is if we want to spend a lot of money, go into a shop where are a lot of handmade instruments, grab one, play it, and even if the color don't fit, but the sound and the haptic is cool for you.
Yeah.
This is more important, also for me. Yeah, I'm not a big Sunburst fan. Yeah, but I love this guitar. It's $250 guitar, but I love it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Greetings to Gordon Smith.
Yeah, no, I love that idea that building something custom for someone, they don't know the end result until it's there. But if they come and pick from what you've already made, then they can know it straight away. I've got one client in particular who bought a guitar of mine online and didn't like the way it felt, so sent it back, but then told me what they wanted. I made them one, and it's not the same because obviously I made it and then sent it to them. But we managed to know what was wrong about the first one for them to make the second one correct for them. And I've now made a few guitars for them because of that. And unfortunately, I'm not in a situation where people come in to see my guitars or feel them. It has to be, here's the photo of it. You're going to buy it on the photo, and then find out if it's right or not.
Yeah.
Some of my earliest that I actually sold, I hadn't built a whole lot. I didn't have a lot of confidence in what I was doing or the consistency of what I was doing. And, I had somebody that just, I knew, and they said that they wanted something. And I would just say, well, let me make something, because I'm going to be making something anyway. Let me make something that, is along the lines that you want, and we'll see if you like it. And if you do like it, then, I'd be happy to sell it to you. And if not, I was going to build something anyway. And that usually worked out pretty well, but then again, this is also people that I knew and had access to, and they could, give me some input along the way.
It's like, it's if you want to show up your products, the old way was to go to a fair, In Frankfurt was a big fair. You have the NAMM show in the US, and I don't know, in Britain it's also, I think, a fair. Somebody wrote
there are a lot of shows in England.
But if you are a one-man show, like I am, I think you are also on one-man shows. You have to build minimum 5 instruments to get any intention. Yeah. So, and if I have to build 5 instruments with the way I build it, and make my living with repairs, it's not possible. And then I have to pay about, it was in Frankfurt, like 15,000 bucks to stand there for 5 days on a boot, the smallest size you can buy. It's not affordable. It's not affordable. But the technical situation today with this Instagram and with this YouTube and all the possibilities are great for guys like we are, because you can make a video here. It sounds like this. Yeah. You want to see how I make the radius? Look at this. You know, it's very positive. I think it's very positive. Yeah.
Yeah.
But at the end, it doesn't matter what you think. There's just one guy. There's one guy that I really love to. I love his videos. They are not very fancy. It's this Ted Woodford, I call it. Is it? You know him?
So what was his name?
Ted Woodford Guitars, I think.
Oh, I don't know them.
I think it's an American. And he makes repairs. Yeah. And he doesn't care about the sound of the microphone that he's using. Because he's so into it, you know, and it's not like every 5 seconds a different position of the camera or the iPhone or what. And he's also a guy, and that was very, very impressive to me. He was saying, "Please don't send me any donations on PayPal because I get in trouble with the tax. It's okay for me what I earn with my repairs. It's okay for me what I earn with my YouTube channel." He has a huge YouTube channel. It's about 100,000 followers, yeah, and he made very, very delicate and interesting repairs, yeah. But what I want to say is, this is also a guy who don't sell. He's telling. I always say I have a lot of people ask me, "Can you show this product? Can you use this?" And I always say, I'm not into this. It's not my profession. I'm not a creator. I'm not an influencer. I'm a craftsman, and I'm using my old knife, and I don't need a new one. It's fine for me. You know what I mean? And it's hard for people who want to sell their product over these platforms to keep this. Oh, the guy is really real. This is an honest guy alive, you know, and that's hard. If I have, that's a guy. He's amazing. You know him?
No, someone just mentioned him as well in the chat. So look, you can subscribe and check him out later.
Yes. It's great. It's great. And this is a guy that I learn stuff from. Yeah, when I look and think, Ted, this is great. That's a good solution. Yeah, small details, how to make I don't know, a jig that helps you out, make your life easier as a luthier. Really, really great respect for this channel. You know?
Well, I'm immediately thinking I'll have to contact him to ask him to come on our show.
Try, but I think he's really this totally guy, like I said at the beginning, sitting in the workshop doing his stuff, and that's okay. That's okay, and that's why these videos are so impressive for me. Yeah.
You know, a lot of the things we've talked about today are all reasons why I gave up on the dream of making this a business 5 seconds into it. It's, for me, it's always been a hobby, and it was always cathartic and you know, helped me get through a lot of things, and I really like keeping it a hobby. You know, I want to build what I want to build, and you know, hopefully somebody will buy it, you know, and sell enough to finance the next build. But ultimately, I mean, like you've said several times, it's important to me to keep that freedom.
Yeah. It's in Germany. There's they call it freier Handwerker. Yeah. This is if you translate that, this is called like a free craftsman. Yeah. You are a free craftsman, and craft is always at a certain level. If you're sensitive for that, it can become art. Yeah. It don't have to, but at a certain level, when you're so into it, a lot of people say, Nick, it must be boring sending. In my education, I have to send, I don't know, 50 bodies. Yeah, you have to send 50 bodies. There you have to work for 2 months sending bodies. Yeah, from 80 grids to 150, 220, everything by hand. All the people hate it. Yeah, guys I'm working with hated sending bodies. But for me, it was always like, and I wasn't in these days. I was about 24. I was a young, crazy guy. I wasn't not in a Zen mood or in meditation or stuff like that. It wasn't my thing. But it keeps me calm. Yeah, I have my earplugs in, and I feel the shape of the wood, and I feel the grain of the wood, and I see every structure is different. And it was. Maybe it sounds weird, but it was really satisfying. Yeah.
I've said many times.
This is what you keep alive with you, not going into this total professional. I want to live from this, because this can be really a struggle. Not in my case, but I know people. That's really a struggle. Yeah. You have a family, you have kids, you have trouble. We all have our life, and we all have our job, and this is, I think, also important to separate. At the end, I'm Nick. Maybe I'm pretty okay luthier, but at the end of the day, I'm Nick. Yeah, I'm Nick, the guy that loves to be in nature, and yeah.
I've said many times that the magic of this seems to be somewhere between those mindless tasks that it's just tedium, where you're just sanding, and the things where you really have to concentrate and think through a process, and somewhere between those two things, the whole world melts away, and that's the magic of falling into your craftsmanship.
That idea of creative flow, when you're in something and suddenly you don't realize, but time has passed and you've just been totally part of what you're doing and engrossed in, you haven't been aware of the rest of the world.
Yep.
And I think.
Nick, oh, sorry.
Yeah, sorry.
I was going to change the point to something.
Yeah.
I was just going to say that because we've already spoken for an hour and 20 minutes, I wanted to make sure we didn't miss out on talking about your recent YouTube video, the documentary you had. I've played the trailer for it before on a past show, and I have linked in the video description for this video to this
thank you,
to your documentary. I'll just play a bit in the background without the sound on, just so people can see visually, but only for a moment, so you can see visually what it is. Do you think you could summarize what the documentary is about? Because I found it like a fascinating story.
Yeah, actually, it's about this is my grandfather's land in my country, and I've built a guitar out of this piece of wood, which is not such, I don't know, exciting. But the thing is that when these trees were cut, I was about 16, 17 years old. I was doing my high school, and then afterwards I will study. There was no mind about becoming a luthier or craftsman. To be honest, when I quit my university, my parents were not amused that I signed a contract with a factory to get a luthier. They want me to be an academic. Yeah, they want me to be architecture, everything. My dad's architect, and I think that these 30 years and this story of this special guitar is like it has everything from this part in my life included, and it results in an instrument. And it was not the idea making this film when I started my luthier career. It was not, nothing was planned. And the message of this film is, and what I like to maybe motivate people is like, give the flow a chance. Like you told me, when you're in a flow, you're not always thinking it has to be safe financially. I don't have a great financial background. My family is not rich. We are normal people. And I can tell you, in the first year when I was doing the education, I was eating like months, just, it's called quark. It's the cheapest cheese you can buy, and dry bread. I don't tell you that because, oh, the poor Nick. No, it's not. It doesn't matter to me, because I want to do this thing. This was my thing. I want to become a luthier. I want to become a great craftsman. Not because all the guitars are crappy outside, because I have this inner voice, Nick, that's your path. You have to go. It wasn't a nice way, yeah. But I think it doesn't matter what you do. It's not always nice. When it's sometimes nice and comfortable, that's good, because then you recognize, oh, it's still something there, yeah. But the motivation, or maybe if you see this film, you know, I'm not done. I'm not ready. I'm not finished. I'm just in the process of my daily life and struggling like everyone else out there, yeah. But if people see, come on, this guy has made in that for 30 years, still making it. So he has to love it in some way. And that's what I think is the essence of this documentary, that if you love something, doesn't matter what it is, if you're into skating or making wine or being a nerd about pickups, doesn't matter, yeah. Because I recognize this from myself. This is essential for having good mental health, to not get depressed or angry, or I don't know what, to have a balance. That is so important. And money is really not important, because money, sorry, I have to say, that has no value. It's no value for me. That's gold has value, wood has value, guitars have value, but money don't have any value.
Yep.
That's fantastic. I do highly recommend people go and watch that video if you haven't yet. That, like I said, links in the description.
Thanks.
There's some other things on your channel that I love, Nick. I know you described it as a library, and I like the fact that it is. And I know you said it wasn't necessarily educational, but it gives you an insight and understanding of the skill that goes into the repair work. It's not a how to do it. It is, this is what he's done. This is how it's done. It's really interesting. But there's also a great video on how you've converted a small practice amp to put your pedal board in it. And that was the first of your videos I think I saw on YouTube.
Really?
But yeah, it's found that fascinating. Mix Guitars in the chat's just quickly asked, is there one guitar or one type of guitar that you really want to build that you haven't built yet? Like, do you have a model or a shape that you like to replicate yourself? Or is it a different approach?
Yeah, it's like I have to get inspired. I have to get inspired from a piece of wood, from an idea that I have. Actually, I grab all this stuff in the nature. I'm a road road bike racer, not
Right.
professional, but that's what I love to do, exploring the nature with my bike. That's like, and I think this connection that human beings have, it's for me. I'm just talking about me. Yeah? It's very important not losing this connection, this earth connection to be grounded in some kind of ways. Yeah, and sometimes it's like I'm not sitting there and thinking what's going to do next, what's coming up next. I accept if there's nothing, there's nothing, and it's okay for me. You know what I mean? And then you get you come into a situation like holy moly, yeah, I want to build an a Les Paul Junior style guitar, and I have old mahogany from window frames. So I don't buy new wood. I have the house where my brother lives. They used to get new windows, and they have this like massive mahogany windows, and this is what I'm going to do next as a build. Yeah, but it can also be that I wake up tomorrow and I think, God damn, I have to make this fucking Explorer down. So it's like I don't make any pressure on myself about that. Yeah, but the next great project, it's actually more repair, or it's more like an experiment, because there's such a big discussion out there about headless and not headless. What's different about the sound, yeah, of a headless bass, or if you have a neck? And to figure that out, I will take a bass that I've built 15 years ago. I will make a studio setup, recorded it with new strings. Then I will cut the head.
Brilliant.
And do the same stuff, also in the same atmosphere, with the same direct in signals, and record it also into the Mac to see the waves. Because it's not about prove something, this is better, or this. It's a learning process for me. Because if somebody asks me, hey Nick, what's the benefit of a headless and what's the benefit of if you have a headstock, I want to say, I know it and I will tell you. And are the other things is just any expectations, or maybe it's like that. And this is something I will start maybe next week. Yeah.
Interesting.
I'm intrigued. I love seeing experiments like that. But one of the things I love the most, especially on a YouTube video like that, is reading the comments that people have, where they won't believe the things that have been shown in the videos if they've got their set idea that they will never have disproven. Like the idea of tone woods, some people will never have that disproven, or the idea of the pickups, expensive pickups aren't necessarily better than a cheap pickup.
They aren't.
So just before we head off, I want to remind everyone, we've got Nick's links in the video descriptions, that we've got your YouTube, your Instagram, and your website as well. And there's been people in the chat saying how fascinating it is listening to you, and lots of people commenting on everything, Nick, that's in your space behind you. Everyone's very intrigued by that.
Well, thank you for that.
We
thanks
a whole
for
video on that.
Who joined us. Yeah, it's the first time I did a podcast like that.
I mean, we've been doing it a little while now, and we're hoping to grow it more. But what we seem to have is the same people that watch it regularly, who are very much enthusiastic about it. And I feel very much it's an audience that really engage with what we're watching and enjoy the people that come on. And it is about trying to build that community. So hopefully people be in touch with you or following you on Instagram now. If anyone ends up commenting on a post or a YouTube video of Nick's, please mention that you've watched this first. That'd be brilliant, so he knows where we've come from. I am later today, I'm going to be updating the playlist for the live chat that we're doing at the moment. And that, again, is linked below to show 3 more of the future ones we've got coming up. So at the moment, there's just the next 2 on, but we've got another 3 lined up and hopefully a 4th, just waiting to hear back from. So that'd be great. We've had a few people say we've got to have you back on sometime, Nick, which would be great. I'm very keen
thanks.
on trying to find some topics and getting a few people back to focus on topics. So hopefully there'll be a space soon. I got a bit ahead of myself and started inviting lots of people. So we've got quite a few lined up.
Feel free to ask me. I enjoyed talking to you, and it's not always about having. I don't do things always to have a benefit on this. Yeah, it's for me. It's more like in some kind of way. I'm an underdog. Yeah, and I like to support people who are enthusiastic in that, and that's what you are, Daniel. Yeah. I know how much work it is to running such a channel. I see your posts, and for you, Scott, too. It's a massive amount of time you have to spend on this, and it's not about okay, when this video has I don't know 5,000 clicks, I have $5,000 in my pocket. It's not like that. The reality is different, yeah. And even people like me who are pretty well known worldwide, if I can buy me a coffee in a month from the income on Facebook, this was a good month. So this is really just an error. But the people out there, they see, oh, you have about 55,000. You earn really money. Why do you still drive this crappy car? It's not. And it's also not it wasn't my intention to earn money with that. My intention is to show the people my profession and how I work.
Yeah, to share.
And thank you for doing that. Absolutely.
It's the same stuff what you are doing. You're not running this channel that you don't have to build guitars in the future, because that's what you want. You want to build guitars. You want to repair guitars. Yeah. You want to be accepted as a craftsman, and everyone wants to be seen. Yeah. And
yes,
there are just 3 people. I used to play a lot of live. 3 years I used to play live. You play Irish pubs, and there are 5 people there in the audience. Yeah, 5 people. Yeah, and it was a great night. Today I grabbed my Gordon Smith make sound check video, and spell it out on Instagram. I don't make big fancy stuff. It goes straight into my phone, and then I just load it up. There's nothing acute, nothing. It's straight, put it into, that's how it is, yeah. And then after a week, you see there are 5,000 people. I've never played for such a big audience like I do now. You know what I mean? It's like, it's nice. And then someone write you, it's really a great sounding guitar, man. And even if I didn't build it, it's great, because you touch people, you trigger something, and that's good. We are not just people repairing stuff. We are humans. We have our struggles. We have our fields. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad, and this is what you want to have as a feedback. Yeah. It's not like if there in the comments, I can't read it because I need my glasses, says, oh, Nick, you're a great guy. It brings nothing to me. But if a guy writes down, you take away my fear of breaking a truss rod with your video, that's where I have my flowers. That's what I like. Yeah, that's my goal. Yeah.
Yeah, I can relate to a whole lot of things you've said.
Yeah, thank you, Scott.
Yeah, what a great way to end. But we are about to end, and I'm just going to quickly play as the sort of closing credits, the 2-minute video that sums up the Jörg's Cup. So anyone that's new to this stream that doesn't know about it, it's described as a competition, but essentially it's an excuse for people of all stages even if it's the first time you built a guitar, to build along and share with each other. And it's named after somebody, Jürgen Zoller, who was part of the Guitar Builders Collective and commenting on people's videos before that, who passed away last year. So it's sort of in his honor. And it's just an opportunity for people to share what they're doing, really, and to sort of build this community. I mean, I'm really happy putting work into running things like this because I love the community. And on a selfish note, it means I get to talk to people and share with people. And that brings me lots of joy that I wouldn't get if I just sat in my workshop all day. So it's great. But yeah, if you want more information on the Jürg's Cup, it will be also in the description below. So once again, thanks, Nick. And if you don't mind holding on 2 minutes when that clip finishes, me and Scott can just say properly goodbye and thanks.
Yeah.
All right, thanks everyone for watching.
Thanks for being here.
Thank you,
Take
Scott.
care, everyone. Are you looking for an excuse to build a guitar? Or do you just want to be part of the community and see other people's builds? Why not take part in the Jürg's Cup? It's a community build-along where anyone can take part by simply sharing your builds either as photos or videos on social media and using the hashtag Jürg's Cup. The build-along is named after Jürgen Zoller of Zoller Guitars, a valued member of the Guitar Builders Collective who regularly commented on other people's builds, giving them encouragement and ideas and helping to start conversations. The whole point of this build-along is not a competition, but to grow the community, to make online friends, to share ideas and inspire others. By following the hashtag Jürg's Cup, you can see other builds and engage in conversations in the comments section. You can add your content and get feedback from others. This year's competition ends on the 23rd of April, with next year's one starting the day after. At the end of April, we at the Guitar Builders Collective will be asking you to send us some photos of your guitar, even if it's not finished. And then over on our Instagram page, we will be sharing the submissions from everybody, giving everybody a chance to see your work, to go follow your social media pages, and to engage in conversation with you, as we hope you will with them. Perhaps you've already started a build and you want to share what you've done with others. Well, just start using that hashtag now. Jürgen was a friendly and supportive guy, and to help commemorate him, this competition will be friendly and supportive too. If you want to, you can buy a Zoller Guitars t-shirt, the proceeds of which go to leukemia charities, or even make a small donation yourself. Wearing the t-shirts will help spread the word of the competition too. But you can do that by sharing this post and others on your social media, in your forums, and with anyone you know that might be interested. Everyone is welcome, and if you're stuck for inspiration, this year we have an optional theme, use what you've got. You can find out more via the Guitar Builders Collective forum, the Instagram page, or our Facebook group.